Mac Marshall, Turtle Beach Gaming.
Good to see you.
Great to see you too here at TwitchCon. It's always fun to talk about gear and stuff and toys, and you guys have a ton of new toys to show off.
We have a lot of stuff, always. That's kind of Turtle Beach's bread and butter. We have something for everybody.
And you've really sort of embraced the streamers this time around. I mean, obviously being here at TwitchCon, you're embracing the streamers, but you're really like getting into that space now.
That's kind of not our sole purpose in being here. Obviously, we're a gaming headset and accessory company, but this year we're actually launching a new stream mic. So what better kind of opportunity to get that in front of the right audience and to debut it at TwitchCon.
That's awesome, man. You want to show us the stream mic?
Yeah, it's right here. So this is our new stream mic. It's called the Turtle Beach Stream Mic. It comes out toward the end of October. I think it's October 23rd, but this is actually the first kind of studio quality desktop mic that allows you to live stream directly from the Xbox One console. There's no other mic that allows you to just plug and play right in the Xbox One and start live streaming. So this works with Xbox One in addition to PlayStation 4, PC, and Mac as well.
So this is really going after that sort of entry-level streamer who wants to chat over his own gameplay while he's streaming out, like, say, Overwatch.
Right, and you know, I don't want to necessarily like relegate it to entry level in that capacity, but in terms of like the features and functionality that you get out of it, and also the price point, it really is a great kind of microphone for streaming in the sense that it's $100. So again, a lot of people spend up to thousands of dollars on like, you know, legitimate, like, you know, professional studio quality, like recording equipment. This keeps it kind of within budget for a lot of people. So we're really trying to capture that audience of people that either are up and coming streamers or possibly new to and want to get into streaming. This is like a really good gateway product for that too.
I can see this also being used for up and coming podcasters too.
Yeah, totally, absolutely. Podcasting, I mean, honestly, anything that you record on, and this thing is pretty multifunctional. We actually have it set up in all of these recording suites over here, and it's on like different booms that really, functionally it works with any kind of typical like microphone holding like device.
So you're not stuck with the platform, although the platform looks cool, man. I mean, this is a beefy piece of tech here. I mean, this is nice and weighty, and it
around, you know, when you're on the desk.
Yeah, it feels really substantial, man. This is a nice piece of tech here.
And so yeah, again, no better place to bring this out and start having people check it out. Like we have it in all the booths. Everybody gets to kind of try it out and use it, and it's a solid piece of equipment.
That's awesome. So yeah, if you're thinking about getting into streaming here and you're just wanting to know what's going on at TwitchCon, this could be a good option for you here. About $100.
Yeah, it's $99.95 in the U.S.
Perfect. And then end of October, is that what we're talking about?
October 23rd is when that comes out.
That's fantastic. But of course, it wouldn't be Turtle Beach without talking about headphones. Got a couple of new things to talk about?
Yeah. So we have, I'll start with, this is our tournament gaming headset. This is the Elite Pro. This actually launched back in June, but we're still kind of pushing it out there. It's just one of the coolest things headset-wise, and one of the most comfortable headsets you can put on your head. And I'll walk you through a couple different things on it if you don't.
Okay, tell me about it, because I'm a headphone guy, so talk me through it.
First things first, just you look at this thing and it looks like it's big and beefy, but actually if you just hold it it's actually pretty light considering the size of it, right? So,
but it feels good though.
Yeah, and it feels like the right balance, right? It's not too heavy, it's not too flimsy, anything like that. And you have a couple different things here in terms of comfort. You have our floating headband, which is spring-loaded on these tensioners, and what that does is that just kind of perfectly distributes the weight across the top of your head when you wear it. Again, you really have to think of everything in this with esports in mind. Like, we're really trying to cater to what esports athletes want, which is to not really even realize they're wearing a headset when they're playing. It just has to be almost invisible in terms of fit and feel, but also functionally has to be awesome. So back to the comfort thing, we also have these tension sliders on the top. And what this is kind of in clamping pressure, how tightly the headset fits your head. Some people like it really snug, other people like it a little bit looser. So if I put it on right now and I just played with it, I'd feel a little bit of an adjustment, like a little bit of alleviation. But over time, where it's 30 minutes, hours later, whatever the case is, if you feel like, oh man, I just need a little bit of a tension relief, you just slide these things out and it's like, oh, okay, that's good. And I can keep going for another however long, right? It's just to keep you comfortable.
Now, when you guys are developing stuff like this, are you working with esports athletes to sort of figure out the right mix for the product?
Yes. In fact, this is actually the official headset of Optic Gaming, which is one of the biggest, esports organizations around, and also FaZe Clan are also using this right now too. And a lot of other pro teams, the moment we revealed it, have come out and said, hey, can we use the Elite Pro? And we're like, yeah, man, it's more a matter of product availability, trying to get everybody enough headsets for these teams that are 4 to 30 people thick, depending on, how many different games they all play. And then let me go back a couple other things on this too. Where all the magic happens is here in the ear. So you have a couple different things going on. One, you have both fabric and leather. And what happens here is the fabric is actually a more breathable material than leather. You see a lot of esports pros, like they pop their headset off right after the match is over. It's because their ears are heating up, they're getting sweaty, right?
Yeah, that stuff is super, it's like usually like a vinyl, and it gets hot.
So this is just much more breathable, and on the inside of this is actually a cooling gel infused memory foam. So the moment if you just put it on your head, the part that touches the sides of your cheeks, you're gonna feel instant cooling. I'll hold this for you.
This is nicer than my bed.
Isn't that cool?
That actually feels really, really nice. I like the weighting of it too.
Yeah, and so again, and then with the leather inside and outside sidewalls, what you get with that is better passive noise isolation. Leather blocks out sound a little bit better than fabric does. And then also you get deeper bass response because the leather captures the bass a little bit better, right? So you get better sound. On the inside of this, you have a full-size 50mm speaker.
First of all, can we look at that speaker? That's some sexy. I like that you made it transparent in there. That's a nice piece of tech.
This is it's a 50mm full-size speaker, and this is tuned for esports. And what I mean by tuned for esports is that, in terms of the entire audio range, chat, communication, that's the most crucial part of esports, right? You got to have clear communication between your team. So this is tuned for esports, and we've actually plussed up the mid-range of the audio spectrum because that's where chat happens. So we want to make sure that all the players can hear themselves and their teammates, right? And then also, the really cool thing is if anybody has glasses, right? If you game with glasses, whether they're prescriptions or you wear gunners or whatever when you play, a lot of times when you put a headset on, there's pressure on your glasses bar that passes over your ear.
Right.
And so what we've done is we've created this little pulley, this little cinch. So right now it's all smooth on top. If I pull this cinch and I stick it on this pin in here, now what you see in here is I've created this little channel. You can actually feel your finger fall into it. And that actually gives up space for your glasses bars to pass through, so there's no added pressure on your glasses when you're gaming. Again, it's about comfort and making sure that these players don't really even realize that they're wearing a really nice quality gaming headset on their head. So that's the comfort stuff.
But you can really customize it and kind of make it your own. So you've got yourself a mass market product with a real specific appeal, but that's totally customizable for the individual.
Yeah. I mean, you can change the settings to whatever suits you best. I mean, if you want it snug, if you don't want it snug, right? And again, these also are magnetic plates. We haven't made the plates yet because it's relatively new. We're getting those done, but you'll be able to pop on your magnetic plates on the outside as well. But the other really cool piece of the Elite Pro setup is this, which is the TAC, the Tactical Audio Controller. And so what this is a mix amp. It's that works at, let me start over. This is the mix amp that works with the Elite Pro. And you got a whole bunch of different pieces going on here. So first of all, you get amplified audio. That's great. You also get DTS Headphone X 7.1 surround sound. And also if you're on a PC, if you're using this actually acts as a separate external PC sound card, right? So you get all the DTS stuff outside of your computer. You have a game and audio volume mix, so you can again set the mix to whatever your preference is. If you want to lean heavier into voice and chat, or if you want to lean more into game audio. You have your background noise limiter, and again, in a setting like a tournament setting, in a hall setting like this is great for like removing out that ambient background noise. So again, it's about team chat, make sure everybody can hear each other clearly. You have your outbound mic boost, which again, you can plus your outbound voice going out to your teammates. You also have a mic monitoring level, which means you can actually hear your voice inside your own headset, so you can hear how loud you sound on the receiving end and adjust that as well.
So this is some real finesse stuff right here.
This is as good as it gets. End of story.
So how has this been received by esports athletes that you've tested it with when they're, say, scrimming at home and practicing?
Yeah, I mean, here's a kind of a neat story. When we started reaching out to the different teams, and Optic was the first team we started talking to, we said, hey, we've got something really cool that you haven't seen from us before, and so we want to bring it out and show you. And they said, okay, yeah, sure, come on out. So we actually took the headset, the TAC, and the other stuff out to the Optic Gaming House in Chicago, and all the players gathered around the kitchen. We sat down, and we said, we pulled the headset and the TAC out, and the product speaks for itself. Like, really, there's no value in us going out and telling, hey, this is the best thing ever, right? Because at the end of the day, that's my job, is to go tell people it's the best thing ever, right? But so we let the product speak for itself, and the team from Optic, they instantly liked it, right? And if they didn't like it, we wouldn't have partnered with them because they wouldn't want to use something that's not top quality, right? So same thing with FaZe. We showed it to them, they loved it. and now they're using it in competitions as much as they can and at home to practice. So I mean, really, like I'd say, like listen to the teams. Like they really like it, and they're the guys that you want to listen to when it comes to like, hey, is this good? Is this not good?
But even if you're not on an esports team, but maybe you're a budding player, maybe you're an amateur guy trying to get in and improve your skill. It's again, like these are priced at an entry point that makes it easier for somebody who wants to make the next step.
Right. I would say for the Elite Pro stuff, we really are looking at either already like, established esports organizations, teams of players, up and coming people who really want to continue to up their game, and like hardcore players, right? People who just want, maybe they're not competitive pros, but they just want the best equipment, and that's what this is.
So being here at TwitchCon, besides being a great sort of physical opportunity to connect with potential customers and esports enthusiasts or hardcore pro gamers, what is the other reasoning for being here and being with this particular crowd? Because you could take this stuff anywhere, but TwitchCon is so specific and such a unique community.
I think, when it comes to audio and just kind of the world of gaming audio, the landscape has changed over the past few years, right? So there really isn't just gamers anymore, right? There's like the people who just play games and that's it. Now we have people who play games for fun, we have people who play games competitively, and now we have this entire live streaming audience too, whether on Twitch or YouTube or whatever the case is. And to ignore that audience would just be a massive mistake if you're an audio company like Turtle Beaches. So again, these guys all use headsets when they live stream. They use headsets, when they play. So it was kind of a natural correlation for us to like also start looking at the mic as to get a better foothold in this space, because this is the space that we all play in.
Awesome, man. So Turtle Beach, if you're coming down to TwitchCon this weekend, they're over here in the main expo hall here. Put on the headphones. They feel really good.
Check it out, for sure.
Some great stuff.
We got more than just the Elite Pro and the mic. There's a handful of things you come by and check out. We have new headsets. The Stealth 520 for PlayStation is launching this weekend, as well as the Stealth 420X. We've added in things like our exclusive feature called Superhuman Hearing, which is neat because it actually pluses up soft sounds in the game, gives you a little bit of a competitive advantage. So for instance, if you wouldn't be able to hear an enemy player sneak it up behind you, right? But with Superhuman Hearing, it ups those soft sounds, so you would hear those footsteps, or you would hear an enemy player reloading their shotgun around the corner, getting ready for an ambush, right? You get to hear all those things that give you that competitive advantage where you can kind of know where everybody's coming from just based on the sounds that you hear in the game. So just lots of stuff to check out today.
Cool, man. So Mac Miller, thanks so much for chatting with us here on A. Mac Miller. If
I was Mac Miller,
yeah, we wouldn't even be talking about it. Mac Miller, not Mac Marshall. Matt West. Thanks for talking, man.